The 27th of October 2015, the Sea of Japan. Russian bombers appear out of nowhere, charging toward the USS Ronald Reagan at attack speed. Within seconds, the carrier's alarm system screamed to life. Four F/A-18 Super Hornets scramble from the deck. The Russian jets were now less than 1 mile away from 100,000 tons of American firepower. This wasn't an act of war. It was a test, and it happens more often than you think. What really happens when you get too close to a U.S. aircraft carrier? The answer isn't what you expect, and it could mean the difference between a diplomatic incident and a shoot-down. An aircraft carrier is more than a ship. It's a sovereign piece of American territory floating in international waters, and surrounding every carrier is an invisible fortress. It's called the Carrier Control Zone, a carefully monitored airspace extending 5 nautical miles horizontally and 2,500 feet vertically from the ship. Within this zone, the carrier's air boss has absolute authority. Nothing enters without permission. Nothing leaves without clearance. From his perch in primary flight control, the tower overlooking the flight deck, the air boss coordinates every aircraft, every launch, every recovery. He's a former squadron commander, handpicked for one of the most demanding jobs in naval aviation. And his word is law. But the Carrier Control Zone isn't just about managing friendly aircraft. It's about detecting threats before they become lethal. Because every carrier battle group operates under a simple principle: control the bubble or lose the ship. The 12th of October, 2000. The USS Cole, a guided missile destroyer, was refueling in the port of Aden, Yemen. Sailors on deck waved at a small motorboat approaching the ship. The crew even smiled back. Then the boat exploded. 1,000 pounds of explosives ripped a 40-foot hole in the Cole's hull. 17 sailors were killed, 39 were wounded. The attack claimed by Al-Qaeda changed U.S. Navy security protocols forever. The lesson was brutal. Even a small boat can be a weapon, and friendly gestures can be cover for an attack. Since that day, the Navy has reconsidered its rules of engagement, and around every aircraft carrier, security has become absolute. The defense of an aircraft carrier begins hundreds of miles away, long before any threat can get close. The E-2D Hawkeye, the eyes of the carrier strike group. This propeller-driven aircraft carries the most advanced airborne radar system in the world. From 25,000 feet, it tracks everything: aircraft, ships, missiles, across a 300-mile radius. Every contact is analyzed. Every anomaly is investigated. And if something doesn't belong, the Hawkeye alerts the carrier air wing immediately. But radar alone isn't enough. The carrier battle group includes Aegis-equipped cruisers and destroyers, each with Spy-1 radar systems capable of tracking 100 targets simultaneously. Together, they create a defensive web that's nearly impossible to penetrate undetected. But detection is just the first step. Because in international waters, aircraft carriers don't have the legal authority to enforce a no-fly zone. Any aircraft can approach as long as they're in international airspace. And rival nations know this. In 2025, a Chinese J-15 fighter jet intercepted a U.S. Navy FA-18 over the Western Pacific. Chinese state media released the footage showing the two jets flying within 50 meters of each other. The encounter was labeled routine, but the message was clear: we can get close, and we will. Russia does the same. In recent years, Russian Tu-142 bombers have repeatedly approached U.S. carriers in the Pacific and Atlantic, flying low, flying fast, testing response times. Every encounter is documented. Every maneuver is analyzed. Because the U.S. Navy knows these aren't accidents, they're rehearsals. When an unknown aircraft enters the carrier's surveillance envelope, the response is immediate. The air boss issues the order: launch the alert fighters. Within minutes, FA-18 Super Hornets are airborne, climbing at full power toward the contact. Their mission: identify, intercept, and escort. The intercept follows strict international protocols. The fighters approach from behind, never head-on, to avoid the appearance of aggression. They close to within visual range, sometimes as close as 50 feet, and begin their assessment. Who is this? What are their intentions? Are they armed? The intercepted aircraft is expected to respond on International Guard frequencies 121.5 MHz for civilian aircraft, 243 MHz for military. If they fail to respond, the fighter pilots use visual signals, wing rocks, flashing lights, and, if necessary, flares. In most cases, the encounter is professional. The foreign aircraft acknowledges the escort, maintains course, and eventually turns away. The fighters return to the carrier. Mission complete. But not always. In 2016, the destroyer USS Donald Cook was buzzed more than 30